What is up, guys? It's Verns back again with another Supercoach video. This time it is the round 11 review. It's going to be pretty quick fire again. I'm sorry about that. If you did tune into the Supercoach Hub video, I did jump on that with Jai and Boz, and I honestly think we had a really good episode there, so I think that would be a great one to jump in and listen to if you want, I guess, more saturated content. But yeah, just going to be quick fire because I've left it to the last minute again. I am so sorry. If you do follow me on my X, I did post today to say it would be out in between the New Zealand Tasmanian game because I just didn't get to it. But yeah, if you are here, I do appreciate you for tuning in, liking, and subscribing for your consistent injections of Supercoach content directly into your YouTube feed. As you can see, we scored a 417, not the greatest score, better than last week. Went down another 350 places. Team values still pretty low compared to people. I've seen people at 3.2 at this stage, so we're quite behind in that ball game. You'll also see that I actually used my final boost as well. So if we do jump in, if you didn't follow me on Twitter, I actually released it as sort of a last minute thing, but I used my final boost with Pinder out to move him straight to KD. Worked out pretty well. KD earned some decent money. I mean, technically I could have gone the Bryce, but I didn't really want to copy the pack. And it does mean that I have KD already set up for next week. And that's sort of my strategy for this week too, because with KD set up, I do want to get Trez, so I have a bit of extra money in the bank here. It was a bit of a hard week to set up. We did have Prather and Doolittle up here, which sucked. Obviously, copying his 0, but most of the competition did. And then we had Henshaw, and my trades will tell me what I did. We had Henshaw up here, and Lopez on the bench too. Sorry, that's what we did there. Yeah, not great from Lopez. Honestly, not someone I really wanted to hold. That 70 break even. We talked about it in the Supercoach Hub a little while back, where it's like, you need to move him or you're going to lose all those points. I think I'm at this point, though, where I guess New Zealand have a good fixture for the end of the year, and I think I'm stuck holding him. As we can sort of see with my trades, I had to move Doolittle. It just had to happen. And if I didn't move Humphreys, it meant that I had to play Humphreys on a single or Zakowski on a double. And honestly, with Trez coming back, I just felt like Humphreys wasn't going to really perform. Felt like I had a better chance of getting Lopez off with his double game. I know just one of them being a spike games. I think last week it's Adelaide, he dropped 27, so he did quite well there. And then, unfortunately, if I did move Lopez instead of Humphreys, I couldn't afford to get... I could afford to get Harrison, so that wasn't too much of a fuss there. It was really just about... I think I can just hold Lopez probably on the bench for the rest of the year. If he comes out and gets, I don't know how accurate this one is right now, but if he ends up getting, very low score this week, loses 50k, he might just be someone we plonk on the bench and we leave him there all year. Now, with this, we can see that I brought in Pete Ling. I think he was the most obvious one. If we do just jump to players real quickly, which will refresh all the scores, so will tell us what's actually happening. There we go. But if we did actually jump to like this week's break-evens, Pete Ling had this minus 12 break-even. Illawarra have a really good run. We talked about it on the Supercoach Hub, but just he's playing really well. He's got a good break-even. He's got a good role. And it just feels very safe. Someone that, once again, you could bring in, hold on the bench the whole season, and I think you'd be okay with that. And if not, he's going to make money over a short period of time, and if you need to trade him on, then awesome, you had a cash grab. So I think that was the most obvious move there when it came to this. There is a few Adelaide players with quite low break-evens too, and their good run starts next week. But now with, obviously, Trez coming back and... KD back, it would affect some of them. I do think Marshall is going to be elevated minutes because of DJ instead of them, but I think DJ will be back in 2 weeks, so even if you brought Marshall in for a single this week, then a double, not too much of a win. I think it was a very obvious, you either were going for Brisbane boys, New Zealand boys, because they're the only teams with doubles. You weren't really going for 1 week rentals, and then maybe a Pete Ling just for the cash grab. So yeah, I think it was a pretty straightforward week in that instance. So yeah, obviously we went ahead with that. We banked the money for Trez next week. Awesome. We get Harrison in for this week. Awesome. Unfortunately, we have to field Lopez, which doesn't feel good, but it is what it is. We got KD already banked for us for next week as well, so pretty excited for that. And yeah, overall, team's not traveling too well. I mean, it's as simple as you missed on Bryce, who broke records, obviously highest actual score ever made in NBL with 40 minutes era, And then we had also, he got a 77 in Supercoach, which is the highest single point game, as well as, oh no, sorry, that was last week. But he did get 107 this week on a double, which is the highest ever player's weekly score full stop. So last year, McCall got 100, and that's the highest we've ever seen. Last week, 2 weeks ago, Bryce got 100, and then he got 107. So that's basically the story of the last couple of weeks. Not having Bryce for that massive run, it was just too painful. But that was the risk we were willing to take, and hopefully we'll take some different routes here. Try and maybe build up at least a good foundation, and then maybe go a little bit wacky on the other positions and see if we can maybe get an advantage there, maybe get some wins in that way. But yeah, that's just sort of how the team is for the week, guys. Pretty straightforward. I think captain's pretty straightforward. Honestly, you're probably just going on PJC, and if you didn't go on him, then it's really a Harrison or Prather. I think they're pretty good too. And then yeah, if you're lucky enough to own a White, you could look at White. I don't think you go for the 1 week rental on a SEM player. But yeah, I guess they're the 4 that you would consider: PJC, Harrison, White, and Prather. But yeah, as you can see, I went for PJC. So anyway, till next week. Next week I will actually make sure to get to that early. I promise. I actually promise. And we will talk about it then. But till next time, peace. Later.